explained the writing tasks, the IELTS writing tasks. Today we'll continue with some more explanation on IELTS writing tasks, and we'll specifically focus on the first IELTS writing task. So before we continue with the first IELTS writing task, I'll give you general points. So when it comes to writing, of course, you must respond appropriately in terms of a variety of things, really. So first, the register. Remember, it is an academic writing, so your language should be formal and polite. Now, you shouldn't use any contraction forms, so no short forms. What they are, I'll explain to you later. But generally, you shouldn't use any forms that have to do with can't or don't or doesn't or shouldn't. So if you want to say something negative, you should say should not. If it is can't, then the form would be cannot. And if it's could not, and so on and so forth. Now, organization, it is very important to be clear and logical. Now, being clear is more important than being complex. So basically, it is good to have good words, and it is good to have complexity in your writing. However, if that complexity is going to take a toll on your clarity, then just stick with clarity, because clarity is more important than complexity. So basically, the examiner shouldn't go through your paper without understanding what you have written. So it should basically, he or she should be able to understand what you have written from the start till the end, and shouldn't have to go back and forth to understand what you have written. Now, the style, of course, has to be organization, so clear and logical. Now, the clarity and logicality are very important in writing. Academic writing is very clear and is very logical. So logicality has to do with the way the introduction guides you towards the body paragraphs, and the way the body paragraphs guides you towards each other, and eventually how they guide you towards the concluding paragraph. So this is very important. Now, style, of course, it has to be academic, but you shouldn't have rhetorical questions. Unfortunately, because of the use of social media, a lot of students tend to use rhetorical questions, something like, should we do that? Or is this correct? Or is this not correct? Or exclamation marks like, wow, oh, how that? Or extreme opinions, when you have opinions like that is terribly wrong, or that is fascinating, or it's wonderful, you shouldn't use. You should always use tentative expressions. Things like, for example, this might be right, however, that could be another way of resolving the issue. Or, for example, this is probably one of the best ways, however, there may be other ways of dealing with the problem. So generally try to always have use a language that is not firm, is not generalized. So you do not come up with comments like everybody is the same, or all the students should behave in the same way. Don't come up with this sort of generalization, and try to use tentative language. And it is very important that the content is relevant. So if you have a specific topic, so for example, if your topic is the impact of globalization on English medium universities. That would mean that every single thing that you use in your writing should be connected with the concept of globalization, and it should be connected with the concept of higher education. And very, very important, it should be complete. Now, when it comes to academic writing, you always start, explain, finish. You never leave things vague. So always remember, it has to connect with, so the introduction, body paragraphs have to connect with each other, and they all have to connect with the conclusion. And the introduction and the conclusion are very similar. They should have very similar language. And the body paragraph, the sentences in the side, body paragraph inside your writing should explain what this started. So they should give more details on what the introduction explained, and they should be finalized by the conclusion. So these are very important parts. These are very important components of your academic writing in IELTS. Until next time, we'll continue. Next time we'll continue with task 1. Take good care of yourselves, and see you next time. Bye bye.